Now on Snake Wranglers, Australia's Copperhead Cannibals. A highly venomous snake that thinks little of eating its own kind. This cannibalism is well known, rarely seen.
It eats another alive. Yuck!
Brian Bush is on the trail.
We're gonna get some copperheads! Snake dancing brings them out, no worries!
From mountain to sea, the sidewater,
Snake!
and in it.
Oh, copperheads like water!
In a land famous for devils, he'll track down Tasmania's infamous Copperhead.
You beauty!
And test for himself its cannibalistic nature.
This is the moment of truth. G'day, I'm Brian Bush, and this is my shed. Sheds are a great part of the Aussie culture. But if you don't like snakes, especially venomous ones, don't come into mine.
Brian Bush's shed is a dwelling for the dangerous.
This'll blow you away.
A reptilian retreat for 80 creatures.
Let me introduce you to some of my friends.
A vestibule of venom.
This is the Aussie death adder. Large fangs, big venom glands, pure neurotoxic venom. Ha ha! This is the western brown snake, the snake involved in most deaths in Australia. Makes taipans look like pussycats. This is the spotted mulga snake, a snake only described to science as recently as 1982. We don't know what sort of symptoms you can experience from a bite from this snake. At the moment, no one's been bitten by it, and the anti-venoms probably don't work.
This plethora of slithering scales is not just for the fun of fangs. Brian uses them for education.
All we've got to remember is snakes are an important part of the environment, like all the other animals.
Among the myriad of snake questions Brian is asked, one gruesome query in particular keeps coming up. The question of cannibalism.
Yes, young fellow?
Do they feed on other snakes?
Yeah, they do. There's not many that do, but that wouldn't be very nice, would it? You get eaten by one of your mates. No way. Well, I'm often asked by people about cannibalism in snakes, and my answers generally relate to the three types of cannibalism.
Brian divides snake cannibalism into three bite-sized categories. First, there is what he calls accidental cannibalism.
Two snakes grab hold of the same prey item, and whoever opens his mouth at the right time gets a bonus because neither will let go.
Second, there's cannibalism where a hungry serpent devours a different species. American king snakes, for example, readily feast on rattlesnakes. But it's the third type of cannibalism that consumes Brian's interest. True cannibalism, where a snake devours its own species.
There's probably only two snakes that tend to exercise true cannibalism.
The tales of true cannibalism can be hard to digest. The king brown is one of those snakes known to occasionally eat its own kind.
The king brown turns up everywhere, and people try to knock it on the head. Several occasions I've had people relate stories to me where they've actually chopped a king brown snake in half. And to their surprise, a smaller snake crawls out of the gut of the dead snake. Yuck!
The king brown has a legendary reputation. But by all reports, Australia's true king of cannibalism is another fearsome snake, the copperhead.
Yeah, copperheads are known to feed predominantly on other cold-blooded prey. They feed on frogs, lizards, and other copperheads.
Copperhead is a name for several species of snake, but only one is a true cannibal. Australia's deadly copperhead. Its cannibalistic behavior is well known, but rarely witnessed. A bite from a copperhead left untreated can also kill an adult human, while the puncture itself is relatively painless. Internally, the neurotoxic venom blocks communication to the muscles. The body starts shutting down. Soon the lungs can't work, then the heart. Death can be swift. Not just deadly, the copperhead can live where you least expect it. Tolerant of the cold, it somehow manages to live in areas where temperatures regularly fall below freezing. And it's not just on land, but in the water. It is highly aquatic and often hunts in lakes and dams. It's in these cold environments that stories abound of copperheads turning cannibal to survive, readily eating their own kind, even their own babies.
Copperheads are immune to their own venom, so when one snake eats another, it eats the other alive. Yuck!
The best place to find copperheads is far from Brian's home in Perth. To see snake cannibalism firsthand, he flies 2,300 miles to Tasmania. Tasmania is a jewel of green. A state of Australia and its own island, Tasmania has lush forests and exotic wildlife, including Tasmanian devils. It's also subject to biting cold. After all, the next stop south would be Antarctica.
Well, that makes Tasmania the land down under, the land down under.
The snake man is on the hunt.
Snake ray on my
Brian's mission is to test the copperhead's cannibalistic nature for himself. But first, he must find some. Fortunately, he has a lead.
I read an article a while back where this location in the Central Highlands of Tasmania I'm heading to now, 90 animals were collected in 48 hours. That's incredible.
Not far into the journey, Brian's sharp eye spots something on the road.
Ah, snake, 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 you beauty.
As Brian picks it up, it lunges back at his leg. It's a close call.
Oh. Just keep my eye on him, don't worry.
It's a nice find, but it's not a copperhead.
Tiger snake is one of two large venomous snakes on Tasmania. The same anti-venom is used to treat the tiger snake and the copperhead. Flared the typical tiger snake hood, very cobra-like, doesn't like my face. Don't look at me like that. Don't look at me like
The
that.
tiger snake is not a true cannibal, but it may be prey for a hungry copperhead. This one is just fortunate not to get run over.
This is one lucky snake. With the amount of trucks on this road, it was lucky we did come along. Go on, off you get. Oh, no worries. Let's go get a copperhead, you beauty.
Gotta keep on moving. Snake ray on my tail.
Brian moves on, and up to areas where it frequently snows.
Might seem crazy. We're up here in the clouds. It's the last place one would expect to be chasing snakes. But that's the nature of the beast. So cold tolerant, these copperheads.
It's summer in Tasmania, but up high it's still cold and wet. And Brian only has his desert clothes. For a hungry snake, there's little tucker. That's Australian for food. But it's here that copperheads are known to have found a niche.
Plenty of nooks and crannies out there, and I suppose one of the benefits of living in this country, there's not a lot of competition. Trouble is, there's not a lot of tucker. In fact, I reckon if I found a copperhead now, I'd eat the damn thing myself.
In these sort of conditions, Brian begins to understand why copperheads would become cannibals. This environment has even driven humans to eat each other. Tasmania was once a penal colony, Old books and films often relive the stories of the escaped convicts that ate each other to survive in the cold. For a snake, such behavior would be of a similar benefit. When the mist clears, Brian finds what he's been searching for. A lagoon that reportedly overflows with copperhead cannibals.
6-foot snake could hide in a tussock like that.
Then...
Gotcha! Oh, it's a tiger snake. Not a copperhead.
While copperheads may have adapted to the cold by becoming cannibals, tiger snakes have adapted by changing color.
Very dark mountain tiger snake. High elevations, very dark colour helps to pull the heat in very quickly up here at these cold altitudes. We don't want the tiger. We're chasing copperheads. I'll let him go over here. Go on, off you go.
Brian needs copperheads to put their cannibalistic nature to the test. Soon he gets his chance.
You got a snake? A copperhead.
It's the right deadly snake. Problem is, it's across a creek.
Oh! Bugger! What a bugger! I should have had him. I was at a disadvantage because when I tried to climb the bank, I was pretty wet and it's real slippery. I was expecting the snake to go over the bank. It did a U-turn and threw straight into this muddy creek here. It lay under the water for an hour. I'm going to keep looking.
When we come back, Copperhead is on the menu. Whether it be high altitudes or low, Tasmania's deadly copperheads are known to like water. And that's where Brian Bush searches.
We're gonna get some copperheads! Snake dancing brings them out, don't worry!
Brian's been accused of being a reptile himself.
Talk about a freak of nature! Reverting back to me former self. I'll be crawling back under a rock if I'm not careful. Look at those snake eyes, snake skin, and 2 penises.
Copperheads don't just eat each other. Swamps like this are a great source of other food.
The copperheads that like this place, they love the water. Frogs, that's their primary food. But remember, if there's not enough tucker in other forms around, they'll take each other.
To see one copperhead eat another for himself, Brian first needs to find some. And finally, he may be in luck.
Ah, snake!
Perhaps the snake dance has worked.
Oh, look at this. What a fat snake. That's a copperhead. You beauty.
At last, a highly venomous cannibal in his hands.
This is Copperhead Alley. Once again for that water. Hey, don't bite yourself. So fat. There must be plenty of tucker here for him. This is a heavy-bodied snake. It's making itself heavier in the body by inflating its right lung. The left lung is very small. It's depressing its body right down to the tail. Makes it very obvious where the tail starts when the snake's in that condition. Many Australian snakes depress the body. There are 2 reasons why a snake might do that. One, to make itself look larger when it's threatened by another animal, and the other is to pull the heat in really quickly. Depressed body exposes more of the surface area of the snake to the sun, acts as a solar collector and pulls the heat in pretty quick. I'm interested in the cannibalism in this snake, so I'm going to chuck it in a bag and take it with me for a little experiment I've got planned.
Brian wants to see for himself if this copperhead will eat one of its own kind.
No worries.
He has one snake to use. Then he spots another. It's on the move, in the water. This will be tricky. Brian must move with great care in a frigid dam. Most of the snake is underwater. If it dives, it'll be lost in the weeds.
Hey! How's that for stealth? Hey, Copperhead! Definitely cold tolerant. This water's freezing. I'm turning blue. It did give me an advantage, but temperature's down. She was enjoying the sun on the top of the weeds. Give me an opportunity to sneak up on her. Oh, magic.
It's not known how copperheads manage to tolerate the cold so well, but it is one of the few snakes to live above the snow line. And of those, it is certainly Australia's most venomous.
Warm my legs up. I'll put her in the bag. That gives me two to play with. Whack him in here. Take it back at you. Beauty. This is a quick release frame. Makes it really easy. I designed these just so I could whack snakes into individual bags and got them onto the frame quick. It's very safe. Keeps your hands away from the bitey end. And if it saves a few snake handlers' lives, all the better. It's great, and it definitely helps me.
For the next part of Brian's cannibalistic experiment, he'll recruit some help.
Morning, Bill.
G'day, Brian.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
What's this furry little thing?
Oh, you gotta love the furries as well.
Bill Flowers is a licensed wildlife carer. He even looks after orphaned wombats. Bill is also a local herpetologist.
Yeah, there's a couple of roadkill copperhead I've got.
No worries.
So, do you want me to go grab them?
Yeah, go and grab them.
I'll go put her in the playpen first.
Bill has collected some tasty treats for Brian's snakes.
Yeah, Bill's helping us out with this experiment. He picked up a couple of roadkill copperhead. We're going to experiment with the cannibalism in this beast. Roadkill, no worries.
Poison in a popsicle.
We're going to have to wait for these to thaw out a bit. I found that one dead over a signpost. Somebody killed it and displayed it, which is
If
really
one
sad.
of the captured copperheads will eat a roadkill,
The side
it'll
of the
prove
road
to
where I
Brian that
came to,
copperheads
by
are
that
not
time it was
accidental
dead.
cannibals,
So
or
it's good that
cannibals that
somebody
just
actually,
eat other snake
didn't like to see them
species,
pain, so
but
you just
true
did it.
cannibals.
Solid.
Yeah.
They never
Thanks.
thaw out in a hurry when you want them to.
Yes.
No worries. Where do you want to put these? We don't want the ants to get to them.
Next, another quintessential Aussie shed.
Bill's got a better shed than mine. More gear in here you can shake a stick at.
They want to make an enclosure as natural as possible for Brian's experiment.
No worries. We've set up an artificial habitat for this experiment. We propose to manipulate the dead copperhead with a bit of wire, move it along, and we'll have it set up. It should look real.
Let's have a look.
She's all thought out, Bill?
Yeah, she's all thawed out. Let's
Oh,
go.
no worries. Oh, just a bit of wire.
Yep, I've got a little bit of wire here.
Yeah, I reckon if you lay her up here.
Bill will play puppeteer to help trick the live copperhead into thinking this roadkill is a living snake.
I think I've got it, son.
Oh, it's looking straight into my eyes.
Hello, Brian.
Hey! Instinctive. Pull your hand away when they turn their head on. You're like that. Oh, look at that.
Hey, Brian, what are you doing in Tassie?
I'm chasing blokes like you. I'm after copperheads. Looks real to me. We've got our dead snake. We've got our snake puppeteer. We're going to get the live one. Looks like it'll work. No worries. This is the most
They put a
likely
live
to eat it.
copperhead
It's
in
carrying
the
a fair bit of
enclosure.
condition. Look at that, how fat it is.
Once it's used to its new environment, they're ready for the moment of truth.
They're excited to see a copperhead devour another one. And twist his head a little bit out, so the other way. So, that's it.
The copperhead is not a snake with special abilities to see heat. Like all Australian snakes, it hunts out movement and follows smell.
That's it. Now lift him up just a little bit higher. That's it, yeah.
Brian watches, but sits as still as a tree so he doesn't distract the snake. The live copperhead moves into a strike position.
That's good. Oh, we got it. Got it.
With little hesitation, the live copperhead made its move.
Just move it forward a bit. Beauty! He's hanging on. I thought it might have been a defensive bite, but he's going to swallow it.
Out of sight, Bill carefully removes the wire. On the menu, Copperhead al dente. The Copperhead is indeed a true cannibal, and Brian finally gets to witness this rarely seen behavior for himself.
That's the end of it. You beauty, it worked.
It did it. It worked. Yes.
Ah, you're a good man, Bill. I owe you something now. I better buy you a steak, I reckon.
Well, that did make me hungry, mate.
All right, let's go.
Brian's backyard experiment has been a success. He's ready to release his snakes.
See you later. Oh, that'll... I've got another one to let go. I'm going to take him further down the flat so they don't eat each other.
Among humans, cannibalism is reviled. But in copperheads, Brian now admires cannibalism as it allows the snakes to exist and even thrive in their cold environment.
I'm a realist. You know, there's got to be death for there to be life.
And in his own quirky way, Brian thinks a snake seeing another snake as tucker, or food, may even be desirable.
The Copperhead. What a great snake. It's taken chasing tucker to a whole new height. Sees a mate crawling across the flat. He doesn't know whether it's going to eat it or whether it's going to make love to it. Hey, you beauty! No worries there, I reckon. If it's a bit ugly, it eats it. If it's a good-looking snake, it copulates with it, eh? What a way to go. Come on. Yay, beauty! Good one. She's gone. No worries. See you later. Oh, it's great.